Can you see he's got bigger eyes? That's so he can find the queen when he's looking for her. So there she is. Nice queen.
Oh, wow. Oh, hello.
Get your pen.
Yeah.
Can you show her?
No, she's there. There she is. So this is just one frame of honey.
Wow.
So that's why all beekeepers have bad backs. So that's one frame.
Yeah.
Right, shall we go and do our inspection? I shall leave it up to you. Generally, this time of day and with the temperature we've got, you can probably get away. Once you take the roof off, you'll get an indication of what your bee's temperament is like. Generally, the bees we've got here are a nice temperament and don't really need a lot of smoke. What happens when you give them a lot of smoke is that they will go and gorge themselves on the honey and they go around the queen and protect her.
Is that a wax moth?
That is a wax moth. So the wax moth, yeah, you will find they're looking to lay their eggs this time of year, but they tend to lay their eggs on old comb, so the darker comb. So, yeah. So you can shake those back off into the box if you want. Then you're not worried about squishing anything. So basically, just give them a tap. That's it. Keep going. That's it, and you're all clear now. It won't do the bees any harm, and it puts them back in the box. So
this was a super we put on.
Yeah.
Like a week ago.
Yeah. Not moved up yet and drawing it out.
No, drawn bits of it out, the middle one.
Oh, they're starting, so they move up. You cannot rush bees. You know, you can put the super on, beginning of the season, think, oh, they're great. The flow's on. They're gonna, and they'll do it in their own time. So don't worry if you don't see them drawing the super out in the first week. So once they've filled up the boxes below and they need the extra space, they will proceed to fill that up.
The thing that's cracking, is that just a honey
That's something called propolis, bee glue. So it's a sap that the bees use from trees, and any gap sort of less than 3 millimeters, they will propolis down, and they'll seal this in the winter, so there's no drafts coming in. So we're going to have a look at see if they've drawn any honey out for us.
When we checked this last week, it was almost full.
Yeah, I should imagine if they're drawing the top box out, this will be full, and some of it may be capped. Yeah. If you use your angled bit and you lift it up. So that's all beautifully capped honey. Yeah. So
They filled the outside ones up.
well, I'll show you a test to see if we can spin the honey off in a second. I'll show you what we do. So can you see, once it's capped, you know the water content has been reduced and it's not going to ferment.
Yeah.
The quick test is we go for one that's not fully capped. So these are all fully capped, so these are all good to go. So what we want to find is one that's not. Which one is it? That one?
I think it's the second one, I think.
That one? Right. So this one here, can you see the nectar in it?
Yeah.
Yeah? So it's not capped.
Yeah.
Now, you can get your little water scope thing that you loop through,
yep.
Or you can do it like the old boys do. So what I'm going to do now is just do the flick test. So the flick test is literally that. Can you see? None of that came out. Yeah? None of the nectar, when we flicked it, came out onto the top of the... If it's full of water and they've not reduced the water content down, so you can spin that off. You don't have to wait for them to cap it. That's just going to take them extra energy. So if you're not going to store it, that can come off. So this box now, so any that are not capped, you do the flick test on. If you don't see low, you'll see literally lots of it. If it's got a lot of high water content, if it does that, just put it back in and leave it. And then next time you come, check it. But this can be spun off now. So this is a full box of honey to be decapped, spun off, and what you can do is, I'll show you what we'd do. is you put that in. So you've got a box there that they started to draw out. This one's full. We can't store any more in here now. You'll get a little bit in that frame. It's not going to make a great deal of difference.
Top box is full of honey now.
So this one's full of honey. And on a super this size, generally that's about £30 in weight in old money. Don't ask me in kilos because I don't do kilos. So what we would do is we'll take this off, put that on there. We'll do the inspection where we're going to do the Varroa check. Well, once we've taken that off, and then I'll show you how to put the clearing board on, and that is now tomorrow you'll be able to spin that off. The clearing board takes 48 hours. So the clearing board is the crown board in this case, and it's got the porter escaping. So we'll put that on. The bees in the evening will go down. They've got another box that they can fill up. So all these bees have got to have somewhere to go. So that's an empty box. They can go into there, and tomorrow during the day or in the evening you can come over. You'll take this box off, the top one. You'll have your crown board here with your porter escaping, and it'll have very few bees in. And you walk that, and then you can extract your honey.
Could we store that? So, or we're best off doing it?
You can store it, but like I've said before, the bees have got a really good sense of smell. So if you're going to store it, make sure it's covered up, because if there's any, they only need 6 millimeters to get in, and they will smell it and they will get in. So put a board on, put something on, store it, and the longer you store it, it will start, because you've taken it away from the hive, it will start to granulate. So it'll start to set up. That's nothing to do with temperature, it's just a natural process, and it will set up. So the longer you leave it, the more granules, the harder it's going to take to spin. So I wouldn't leave it too long. Yeah, it starts to granulate. Yeah. So if you don't want to do it, if you're all here next weekend, what I would do is on the Saturday, put your clearing board on. The bees will keep it warm, keep it at temperature for you. And on the Sunday, you can come along, you can spin it out then.
I think this is what we are doing.
Yeah,
Next
but that's
next weekend we are.
I'll show you what you need to do, and then you can do it. And by then, you might find that you've got another one ready, because you'll check the others, and they'll have filled this one up. But this one you will leave. We'll see how much weight's in here. We can have this. When the flow's on, it can be as little as a week. Depends how strong. You've got in this hive now, these two boxes, you've got between 40 and 50,000 bees in the UK. In America, you get slightly less because they have bigger boxes and they have trying to have a longer summer.
Can you see
But
the
yeah.
orange? That's pollen.
That's pollen in the pollen baskets.
Yeah, pollen baskets.
Yeah,
It's the first time in a hive ever called.
Yeah,
so
that's why I showed
basically,
her.
so can you see it's got a can you see the proboscis looking out? Yeah, if you just can you see get different colours? So this one's an orange one. So the bees want to come in and out. This is off the balsam, the lighter coloured one. So as long as you allow the bees to come in and out, they'll not bother you. If you stand in front of the hive, they'll bump into you.
Oh, this one has like black.
Yeah, you get black pollen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you get a pollen chart, it will tell you. Now this one here, oh, he's just gone in. There we go. Again. So this fella here,
How do you hold them?
by the wings, but he's a boy. So the boys, boys do no work.
Oh, what a surprise!
So the boys give over. So the boys do no work. So can you see how he's got a round? Come here. How he's got a round abdomen.
Yeah.
Well, boys can't sting.
Yeah,
So it's only the girls can sting. Can you see he's got bigger eyes? That's so he can find the queen when he's looking for her. So they don't do anything. At the end of the season, the bees will eject them from the hive. So they have the life of Riley during the summer, but in the winter they haven't. And can you see this little? She's got a little proboscis out. She's just drinking that little bit of nectar. And there. So the girls do all the work. The girls guard the hive. The girls can sting. You should be able to put your hand 3 to 4 inches above your hive and waft it around. If they come up and be defensive, you really need to work out the reason why they're being defensive. Sometimes it's because they're queenless. Sometimes if they're queen right, it may be the temperature or the time of day that you've gone in. If you did that at night, even these bees would come up and sting you because it's the wrong thing. But during the day, we should be able to do that. And as you can see, these bees are not bothering. That's a good temperament hive. These are the oldest bees in the hive.
Okay.
So these bees that are flying were born 6 weeks ago, roughly 4 weeks ago, and they spend 2 weeks foraging. They literally work themselves to death so the colony can survive and get through the winter. So that's that. And I don't know if you felt the weight. Have you felt the weight of one of these? So this is just one frame of honey.
Wow.
So that's why all beekeepers have bad backs. So that's one frame.
Yeah.
So that would have taken 12 bees fly roughly 3/4 of the way around the world, each bee, to produce 1 teaspoonful of honey for you. And people say, why is honey expensive? Well, if you put that amount of work into something, it would reflect.
Keep one of those little limbs.
So yeah, and can you see they're not trying to sting you?
Keep one of the limbs.
That's it, just keep hold of the lugs.
Yeah.
If you drop
not
it, they might fly up, but they're not bothered.
No,
You know,
they're not
our
bothered,
bees
no.
are going about the daily bit. They should not be aggressive.
Is that the supers that we built?
Yeah,
Similar to
so that, and you,
Some of them.
so
Can I
that,
drop it
so,
back in?
yeah, you just pop that back in. So there you go, just slide it down. You won't be able to squash the bees because we're on Hoffman's here, so that gives you a bee space. And that's it.
professional beekeeper.
Wow. That is so interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're amazing.
they are amazing.
They're amazing. I think they're a lot more intelligent than people give them credit for. The brain is only the size of a poppy seed, yet they can navigate to within a few feet from 3 miles away to where they live.
Well, they might have the brain of a poppy seed, but I think they use the whole brain, while the people, they don't
they
use
use
it.
Yeah,
poppy
no,
seed
no,
brain.
yeah, we could. They work as a, as a community. It's something to see.
So
and
obviously they drink from it as well, right?
Is it?
yeah, they not these bees, but the bees, the nurse bees. So the bees that we'll see in this bit, they basically feed the whole of the colony. They ration, and they are aware of how much food and resources are within the colony. So they're basically the driving force for the colony itself. They will feed. In fact, if we introduce some bees from this colony into this one, and food got scarce, they would feed the direct sisters first. They would get a preferential treatment to the ones that are from the other colony. They know that they'll still feed them, but they know they're from another colony. So, but yeah, it's regarded as what they call a superorganism. So it's basically a collective. The queen's job is to lay eggs and drive the colony forward, and she's maintained to do that. The rest, the workers, which are all her daughters, and all the drones are her sons, are basically to ensure that they've got enough to get through the winter and that they will survive the winter. So what they're doing now is cracking the propolis. That's what you can hear, and somebody's now going to find out how heavy this is for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So put that on it. That's it. So this is what we call a queen excluder. So this has got gaps in it that ideally only the worker bees can get through and the queen can't. Occasionally, if you've got this on and it's a young queen, she can squeeze through until she's mated. So don't think the queen excluder does exactly what it says on the tin. You can get it, and what you will find is that you see eggs in here. Once she's got out and mated, you'll see eggs in the top, and you think, how's that happened? I didn't see the queen go up and she can get through. So have a quick look and we'll see where we are. So what we're doing now, this time of year, we're trying to get a feel for what stores we've got going forward as well. So although we want the honey off, we'd like to take some honey off. We can't take that away without knowing what's in these 2 boxes, because this is where our bees are going to survive the winter. And what they'll do, they'll move up from the bottom box into the top box if there's enough space, because the colony will condense down. There'll be less bees in, and so again, this is where they store the honey. They always store the honey on the outer edges. So that's when you pick that up, and this is why they've started to store it above now. They don't have an off switch for honey collection and pollen collection. They just need somewhere to store it. You give them the space and they They will store it.
But this honey you will never eat.
We wouldn't take honey out. You can do, and some people do, but
Then they
as
have
far
to
as
eat
we're
those.
concerned, that's for the bees. You know, the bees, you can take it off in the spring. Can you see how you've got different colours?
Yeah.
Can you see how you've got the lighter
Do you want
around
to
the,
hold this one?
sorry,
It's even heavier than the other
that's,
one.
oh yeah, they're a lot heavier. So you can see that, so that's basically where they found the nectar source, and they'll work the nectar source till there's nothing left. So at the moment, all we're seeing is honey in this top box. So that's fine.
So that's going to be their food now.
We're not going to take that off.
No, yeah,
So now we're into the brood. So you can see we've got
Yeah.
brood.
I'm so scared of this
So that's a good, strong colony.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that the queen on there? Flip that up. There she is.
Found it.
There you go.
The queen.
Hives
Yeah.
are in the same order.
Yeah. I was looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see?
So she's rubbed. Yeah, the white dot.
Yeah.
The white
Kiss-
dot is something that you've put on, right?
We put on that. Yeah, that's not like the
They don't
the
come in.
Himalayan. Yeah, she doesn't forage. She doesn't even feed herself. So she's walking along and she's inspecting that.
That's salt.
So at this point, we know we've got a queen in. We know what you've got to remember when you see all this honey. You think this is a lot of honey.
They need it.
End of September, that's sort of the end of our summer. Yeah, and everything is 3 weeks early this year. So our summer might end a little bit before September. So they've got September, October, November, December, January, February, March. They've got roughly 6 to 7 months to survive on the stores they've got. A colony this size will eat 10 pounds of honey a month. That's what they're going to get through. So can you see? Look on all waiting. So this is all brood waiting to hatch.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, this is all baby bees waiting to hatch.
How long are they inside there?
There's 21 days for a worker from an egg to hatching. 26 for the boys, 16 for a queen because she's fed on a superfood called royal jelly. So the queens are a bit. So we've got brood in the centre. We've got a good brood, cap brood. We've got a queen that we know's laying, and we've got plenty of stores. So again, you can see why they're now using the top to store honey,
Because this one is.
because they're full. Yeah. But you got to remember as well that we're now in July, and the queen is going to slowly as the days shorten. It's nothing to do with temperature. It's to do with the length of the days. So as the days shorten, the queen will reduce her laying. So what we'll do, we'll take the Varroa sample from the bottom box because we know the queen's in the top one. We don't want to disturb her, and we'll have a look. Yeah. So what they're doing, they're eating the honey, yeah, and creating space, and they store the honey around the outside. You can see this is. You want it on that. So we wouldn't take a sample from these bees. These are flying bees, and they're not the ones that the Varroa is going to be on. The Varroa is going to live where the brood is. That's its life cycle. So that's what we're going to take the sample of. And you can see they're drawing this out. So you could checkerboard that. You know when we talked.
Well, I
so you
think that's what we did with this frame.
Yeah,
think
you can move it nearer the middle, and it moves that darker one out as well if you want to do that. But yeah, you could just pull that to the outside. So once you've created the space with your single frame, that will give you enough space. So you can just move everything back then. So you're not trying to. That's it. And then say because you've got the Hoffmans, you can pull them all the way back like that, and that gives you working space. So if you're going to work from both sides, so that's what we'd do. So there's the queen. She's moved down. So she moved out the light. We had her in the light, and she's moved down.
I thought you were in this one.
Well, she was, but she's moved down because she wants to be out the light.
All right.
So just
Are we best off capturing her?
well, you can catch her, but you can just put her on this frame here. So if you put this one back in, just leave her on there.
Do you
She's
want to get that one?
yeah, just put that back in, and she'll just stay on there. She won't go off. She's not going to fly off at this. And what we can do is quickly get to the middle, and we'll do the Varroa test. So, yeah. So what we've got is alcohol. You can use icing sugar. So we've got our alcohol in the bottom part. This is to capture our bees. So we put that in there, So what we're going to do now is we need to sample roughly 300 bees. Now 300 bees off the brood is, I know it's a sacrifice, but this is what we need to do. So we need to get them. Can you see the brood in here? Yeah. So this is the bit that we're going to cut, and we're roughly going to get a few hundred bees. It's not the easiest thing to do because they're going to.
I wanted to say that it's not easy.
So get them in there. Just put them in there. Yeah. It looks a bit brutal, but basically what we've got to do now is sacrifice 300 bees for the colony. So what we do for 2 minutes, we shake it round in a circular fashion. Yeah. You do normally get a little cup with these, which ideally measures out 300 bees, but we're sort of, it's going to give us an estimate of what Varroa we've got on our bees. Now, Varroa is a little mite that lives on the bees. It was introduced probably about 10 years ago now into the country on imported bees. It carries a virus called deformed winged virus. And what you will see, you see these bees have got beautiful wings. When you see deformed wing virus, it looks like somebody's got hold of them and scrunched them up like a little bit of newspaper. And it means these bees can't go out and forage. So what the Varroa does, it climbs usually onto the drones. So it's transferred from hive to hive with the drones and the other bees as well. But basically it will lay its eggs in the cell with the little grub. So when we are looking at the grub stage, the pupa stage, we want a nice white pupa. And occasionally you will see a little red dot, and that's the Varroa mite living on it. And it basically ingests the blood of the bee and introduces the virus in to it, which is deformed wing. So it's a bit like the mosquito. Sucking its blood doesn't kill it. The virus does the damage. It means the bee can't go out and forage. And if you get a heavy enough Varroa load, the colony will collapse. And that's the issue. So the Varroa traces the growth of the colony. So it will always start small in the spring, go up to the peak in summer, and then it will fall off in winter. You will never get rid of it totally out of your hive. It will always be there. The bees, hopefully, we tend to breed off good bees that have got good hygiene. So in other words, that will get rid of dead bees, diseased bees, bees that aren't quite up to their spec. And what you can do, the way you test for this is you freeze a section of the brood. So you freeze basically a 10p piece section of the brood, and you monitor how long it takes for those bees to remove that section of the brood, because they're diseased, they should be out of the hive. And you would look for a good sort of response to that. It's a trade-off. You know, you can have fantastic bees that do that within a day or so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the bees have a good temperament. We're trying to breed bees that, one, we can work with, and two, that give us, you know, that all the stuff we're looking for. So what we're looking at now, so we're doing pretty good here. So we haven't, well, you might have, but we're doing pretty good at the moment because I can't see any. So for 300 bees, which you're going to lose in a hive this size, 1,000 bees a day are dying. They're getting to the end of their life, they're flying away from the hive and they're dying. So this is the far better solution. It's quicker, you get an accurate, and as you can see, when we lift this up, what we'll be looking for, they look like tiny little red dots, like the mites you'll see, you know, outside.
Spider mites.
We haven't, yeah, like a spider mite, and we haven't got any.
No, that's good. Nothing.
So we haven't got any. Yeah, we've got pollen in there. You can see the pollen, but we haven't got any. That's it. So unfortunately, we've sacrificed those bees.
Oh,
So there's nothing we can do about that. But
Thank you, bees.
we do know that that colony going into the winter has got not a heavy Varroa mite. I won't say it's not got any, but I'll say it's not got a heavy Varroa mite, and we can treat quite happily in a couple of weeks. If we saw 3 to 5 mites in there, that's getting on for a reasonable load, and I would treat in something this, because you've got 2 boxes, so you've got to appreciate that that's the amount of bees we're treating. So although we've only seen 5, that's not 5, you times that up by every 300 has got 5 mites on. That's a lot of mites. So You don't necessarily need to do every hive. You can batch test.
Okay.
So you don't have to sacrifice 300 bees from that hive, Varroa load, treat. Don't go off what somebody else is doing. Everything, it's a living organism. It's going to be different. Your dog is going to be different to next door's dog, and that's what we're after. So yeah, porter escapes in.
We stick it there.
So next week, make sure you put it the right way up. So in here, you've got two little spring-loaded guides, and what happens is, during the evening, the bees want to go back to where the main colony is to keep warm. That's basically, in the hive, what you're looking at is like a swarm. That's how they keep warm. They cluster together. So these bees will move down through the porter escapes into the bottom bit and ultimately into here. And if there's not enough space in here, they'll cluster up in that sort of shape there. And when you come along after 24 hours, so you put it on the Saturday, on the Sunday when you come down same time, you come on this and you'll have just a few bees in here. Yeah, basically it's a one way. It's a maze. So they after 24 hours they generally do work out a way to get back in. So if you left it on a week, they come back to it. So you will have bees in your top bit. They will have got in because they know there's a nectar source in there. So yeah, generally 24 hours. So and it's called a clearing board. So at the moment we're using it as a crown board, but it's also a clearing board.
Paul,
Yeah.
this one here.
That is, so what we've got there, that's a play cup. So if that was primed, that would be what we call a supersede cell. So the ones that, when the supersede are in the queen, tend to be along the middle. Yeah. Okay. If it's anything to do with swarms, it tends to be along the bottom, but they will put them elsewhere. These are called play cups, so they'll make these all the time. It's just a precaution. As long as they're not primed and you don't see lots of them, you see lots of them and no eggs, then you know that they're trying to replace the queen or they're trying to make a new queen. Yeah, you tend to find they put them up when they haven't got a queen or they've just got a newly mated queen because they're covering all the sort of they'll you know when the queen is because the temperament changes.
Queen though.
Yep, that's the queen. Good spot.
We've not.
Eyes.
Getting good.
You need to mark it.
So, that's it. So we're just making sure she's not on. But if you go like that, see even this one. Can you see you've got a couple of drops? Yeah. You'd have a lot more drops of nectar. So because it's so warm, obviously they're drying it out really quick. So even that you could spin out. You know, I'd let them fill it up.
We want to keep these for them.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, as actual, and they're coming, taking it back now, as an actual method, and it's a lot easier to do because you don't need to start looking and try. We have both, and you'll probably find that if you do the flick test like that, and then you put it in the optometer and have a look at it, it'll be the same. Yeah.
Can we take the honey from this one as well? From this box, or we need to keep this box?
Well, it's not fully drawn out yet, so you don't need to keep this box. Leave the bees collecting the honey, and we'll see how we go on over the next couple of weeks. So that they should fill this up over the next couple of weeks with any luck. But what we can do is, if we try and find that one, we'll have a look. I'm trying to show you the flick test. So can you see?
Quite a lot.
Oh, wow.
See?
Yeah.
Now, can you see the difference between the one we did over there? So this is full of water. This is not ready for collecting.
Okay.
If you did spin this off, it would taste sweet. It would look like honey, but it'd turn into mead.
Okay.
So basically, because of the water content and the yeast that is naturally in the air, that's how it would start to ferment. And when you took the lid off your tub, because you can't see the yeast when it goes in, it will smell like somebody brewing beer.
Okay.
So that's the flick test. That's the way I was taught to do it. And you know there's too much water in there. You can leave that on and the bees will do it. But that's an easy test. You can see the difference between that one and this one, and that's got too much. Doesn't do the bees any harm, and it's a quick way of looking up. So it's more important to have a strong colony going into the winter than it is to take honey off. There she is. Nice queen.
Oh, wow.
Chocolate.
Oh, hello.
Get your pen.
Yeah.
Can you show her?
Was she disappearing? No, good.
There she is, there she is. So you get used to seeing shape. You notice that she's a different shape.
Do you want a marker?
Yeah.
We don't need to see the bee. You've more chance of squishing a queen going looking for her than you have of just seeing the eggs. And you've millions of eggs. You know, you've thousands of eggs to look for. You've one queen in a colony of 30,000 bees, which is going to be easier to see. So yeah, so you've got this year. You've got at least. I should imagine you're going to take at least £90 of honey off, probably just over.
How much?
£90 in weight. You're going to probably going to get both these boxes off. Each one of these is 30, so that one's already
30
full.
kilos of £30.
£30.
We don't.
Are you doing it by hand? Or have you got motorised one?
It's hand one.
I'll bring the motorised one for you.
Right.
Have a go with the first box by hand. Yeah.
Well, hopefully there'll be a few of us doing it. So.
Right. Well, have a go by hand with the first one, and then if you want me to bring the small motorised one, I can bring that for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it
And that does both. That does the bigger frame and the smaller frame. So you just going forward, so you know you've got one,
I was
because
hoping that I could attach a drill to it or something and make it a bit easier.
yeah. But just see how you go. But I think you'll find after doing 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes,
£90.
You'll be knackered.
you won't need gut gym. Put it that way.
Yeah, right.
Drop down. That's it. You're good.